Markelle Fultz going to be the shooting guard. In the second half, he's going to be the second-team point guard. Is that what you're telling me?
That is correct. They have a strategy where the second half will be a different team than the first half, and yeah, I guess Fultz becomes either James Harden or a dude off the bench. One of the two. First quote. We wouldn't trade him for anyone, even Beyonce. Said Pelicans coach Alvin Gentry about Anthony Davis. Bo, are you with Alvin here?
I mean, I get why they say that, but they could sign Beyonce, and Anthony Davis ain't going to stay after his contract is up. Right? I mean, I feel very confident saying that, given the history that we've seen in this league, guys in situations like this one where you're on a team that you started with and they don't look like they have a chance to win, they sign the first extension. They typically do not sign the second in spite of all the money that they can get for staying there. My question for them is not you saying we would never trade him. Why haven't you traded him already? Like, I get that you want to keep interest in your franchise, but the smart play would have been to trade him at the end of last season. But they messed up and won a round in the playoffs, and they gave people hope.
Well, that's the thing. They won 20 of 28 or whatever it was, made the semifinals of the Western Conference, and there is the hope. But Anthony Davis, what they are betting on with him is that he wants that Supermax money. And now, to be fair to the Pelicans, no one under these new CBA rules have turned down the Supermax money, but no one who's turned down the Supermax money has also gone and changed agents to make Rich Paul and LeBron your kind of crew. So does Anthony Davis want $84 million more than free agency? That's the Supermax versus free agency? Probably. But is the $33 million difference between the Supermax and the trade, is that worth being in LA to him? Probably.
And also, it's not really 84. Whenever we talk about that more, we forget that the home team is able to give you that extra year on the deal, right? So on an average annual value basis, we're talking about something that is different here. My question then goes to Boston. You did this with Kyrie. You made the trade and said, hey, we're going to give you something that you like and you're going to wind up sticking around. Boston has all the assets. They honestly have more players than they can do anything with. I would have tried to make this trade already. Next quote. Derek Anderson has to start, or Sean McDermott is in danger of losing the locker room after Peterman's performance. Tweeted Diana Rossini about the Bills starting quarterback dilemma this week with Josh Allen ruled out for the game. Pablo, LaShawn McCoy said publicly they still have confidence in the Peterman. What should McDermott do here?
But the thing about LaShawn McCoy is that he did say that he had confidence in the Peterman. It just came after 6 seconds of silence.
Literal 6 seconds.
6 long seconds. And right now, if you're Sean McDermott, you are trying to get out of a burning room using a flamethrower. That flamethrower's name is the Peterman. Now, somewhere in a corner, it turns out, there's an old dusty fire extinguisher named Derek Anderson. LaShawn McCoy clearly wants you to go and try to use the old dusty fire extinguisher to get out of the room that's on fire. Will he do it? That is the dilemma.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Well, there's the other part. There is no reason to believe that Derek Anderson is that much better. Remember this. This was the 2016 season, I think it was. The Panthers benched Cam Newton for a series because he was late or something like that. They actually wound up benching him for a play because that one series was Derek Anderson throwing an interception.
Oh.
Right? Like, that's how that wound up going. I don't even think Derek Anderson wants to play. Do you remember that time when Michael Vick was behind Geno Smith and they got it? Like, and Vick were like, yo, you got to come in the game? He was like, bro, I haven't read this play. I came to be a mentor.
I'm a mentor.
Yeah,
I'm a backup mentor.
This is what I'm here for. Derek Anderson has been riding the pine behind Cam Newton for 7 years before this year. He is not in the league to play. He is in the league to wear a baseball cap. He don't want to be out there no more than the Peterman wants to be on the bench, except the Peterman might want to be on the bench because the Peterman is abject.
I feel like we should, in honor of the Peterman, pull up some of his greatest hits here because they are phenomenal for us to all remember collectively.
Oh, we're going to that one game.
We're going to that
game.
That's not his fault. And here's the problem, Bo, if you're Derek Anderson and this is the tape you watch and this is the tape you consider before signing with your new employer, which is, did you really think that you, Derek Anderson, are that much worse than the Peterman?
No, what he thought was that they had Josh Allen, right, and that the plan was going to be that.
Oh, they'll keep him healthy,
right,
of course.
That's where he thought that this was going to wind up going, but the point that Diana makes is a big one. You can't ask those other dudes to risk their lives playing behind the Peterman.
And
you just can't.
No, not for the Peterman. Last quote. It's a blip. It's not what's happening. Said Coach K about the FBI's college basketball trial. Let's listen to the coach.
You know, I really haven't followed it that much.
Well, was that a great?
To be quite frankly,
He
because
flipped through. Look at it.
I think it's a minute. It's a blip. It's not what's happening.
Bo, is the newly gray Coach K right about the blipitude?
First of all, he said it's not what's happening. You got a newspaper, right? Do you have internet on your phone? It is clearly what's happening. It's happening in sworn testimony. It is happening involving many schools, right? Yes, this is absolutely what is happening. And it's totally a blip. Think about this. This is the first time we've talked about this trial on this television show. How many television shows like this have you seen people discuss this trial, which, by the way, is equal parts illuminating and hilarious? And we're not talking about this at all. College basketball has been through a lot more scandalous stuff than what we had here. He's right. This is a blip because seemingly a lot of people are invested in keeping it blip-like.
I agree with you on that count. I will also point out that Coach K is not merely a coach. He is kind of the institution that is at risk. If he wants to upend the apple cart and actually say, look into what's happening in Manhattan Federal Court right now, there's some interesting things going on there, it's not that he necessarily will be caught red-handed handing money to a booster, one of these ridiculous cavalcade of characters that you refer to being hilarious. It's the fact that life's great for him. Why should he want to change things up?
Although they are having a little trouble this year in the recruiting game. It's kind of weird. Jeff Capel left, and now they don't have anybody committed for this year. But no, man, coaches don't break rank. And they especially are not going to be like, everything in here is dirty. You should get an investigative journalist on the case. Hell no.
We're all dirty.
Put this show in your pocket by listening to the podcast. Bomani has one, too. I also have one if you want to hear about my restaurant and my dog, which you should.
Dave & Buster's has the 3 things you